Hi everyone, it's Marjorie Nass. I'm just sitting back from the computer because I wanted to have plenty of room to do these yoga poses. So I'm in my yoga space. And I just want to welcome everyone. My name is Marjorie Nass. My background is in yoga and in movement and the wellness science of yoga called Ayurveda. And spring is the perfect, we're going to get to some yoga poses for knee pain in just a moment, but I wanted to remind everyone about Reset and Renew, which is the program I do twice a year, which is a seasonal cleanse to help our body release what it no longer needs from the winter. That includes excess weight. It includes anything mental that we're holding on to that doesn't serve us anymore, emotions, thoughts, beliefs. It's like spring cleaning for the body. So although we had our first webinar last night, everything is recorded, so you can enroll today or even tomorrow and catch up with us. And then we have 2 live webinars next week. The program phase itself doesn't start until Monday. So this is really the few days of preparation to get everything set up. So I hope you will join us. The link is the pinned post on this Facebook page. So I want to talk a little bit about the knees. And the knees are an interesting joint because they are really the most unstable joint in the body. So we often will feel poses in our knees when in fact it's from a tightness in the hips or another part of the legs or even tightness in the feet. Hi Cindy, how are you? So we're going to start with some poses for the feet. And if your feet are tight, it's going to affect your gait, and that can often help you the knee. So some of you have seen me do this before. I call it toe yoga. So you're going to interlace the fingers of your hand in between your toes. And you can sit like this. You can do this sitting in a chair. You can cross your legs to do this. I'm sitting up on a nice cushion. And then you're going to move the ball of the foot back and forth and create. If this is affecting your knee in this way, then come up to a chair and it should feel okay. You can also keep the knee up like this. We just want to get some mobility in the feet here. You can't do this wrong. We're trying to open up the ball of the foot so that there's a little more flexion in there, which is also going to help the foot. Now you're going to release your fingers, take your thumbs right at the ball of the big toe, and you're going to press the thumbs up towards the toes. It's like you're giving your foot a little massage. And then you're going to give each toe a little wiggle and a little pull. And again, if there's tightness in the feet, tightness in the hips, we often will feel that in the knees. So one of the reasons why we do yoga barefoot is to help us to connect with the earth. And because we're wearing shoes all the time as a culture, the feet get super tight and we often feel that in the knees. Now for this next one, you're going to take your palm and with your palm down, you're going to spread your fingers in between your toes. This is a much trickier one than the first one, I find anyway. And then you're going to move that ball of the foot back and forth. And Facebook Live is not a mirror image of me. I'm actually seeing myself as you see me. So if I'm moving funny, that's why. All right. You can even make little circles with the ball of the foot. And then we're going to take a little tap and a little clap. And just take a moment and look at the difference in your feet. I'm sure you can't see this from where I am, but my feet are totally 2 different color. We really got some circulation going in there. If you're watching this on the recording, pause and stand up and notice the difference. And Dempsey just made an appearance. That's my golden retriever. He's gonna lie right there. Okay, let's do the other foot. So you're gonna first palm to sole of foot, interlace the fingers between the toes. And if you're just joining us live, please let us know where you're from. If you experience knee joint, let us know about that. If something has helped you with your knee joint pain, I would love to know. Helped a lot of my students over the years with their knee pain. And we're just going to do a few poses. This is going to be an ongoing series. So you're moving the ball of the foot here. You don't have to sit like this. You can sit in a chair so it's not so much tension. But notice if you are feeling some tension in your knee here, how flexing the foot, this creates stability in the outer shin muscles, and we're going to do some standing poses which will help with this, to activate the outer shin. And notice if that changes how your knee feels. Keep moving the ball of the foot. Then you're going to take your thumbs right at the big toe ball and move the thumbs up towards the toes. I'm going to check another comment. You did this in your class today, Betty. How awesome that you learned from me in Costa Rica. Yeah, it's a keeper. I've been doing this for years. Never gets old. Now start to move each toe independently, giving it a little wiggle, a little pull. And then palm faces the top of the foot now as you interlace the fingers again. And moving the ball of that foot back and forth, up and down, side to side. And then give your foot a little clap. And before we stand up, I want to point out the 4 points of the feet. The big toe ball, the outer heel, the little toe ball, and the inner heel. Okay, so those 4 points again are big toe ball, inner heel, little toe ball, outer heel. And we're actually going to do a cross reference from the big toe to the outer heel, from the little toe to the inner heel. So we're going to stand up now. And I'm going to just adjust this so you can see my head, so I'm not headless. Oh, you can't quite see my feet there. Sorry, guys. Still getting this together. And so we're going to start standing. There we go. We're going to start standing. And I want you to look down at your feet and make the outer edges of your feet parallel to the outer edges of your mat. So for a lot of us, the toes are turned out naturally. That creates tension in the knees. So creating some precision, and your feet are going to be hip width apart. And this I want you to measure like this. You're going to turn your big toe towards your inner heel. You want to be able to touch there. That's how wide you want your feet to be. So if your toe's not touching your heel, you're too far apart. If your toes are up towards your ankle, you're too close together. And you can also do it the other way, spinning the inner heel to the heel. I find that the measure is better when it's toe to heel. And then we're going to do that 4 corners of the feet thing. So lift your toes for a moment, and that will activate the 4 corners of the feet. There's a slight bend in your knees. You never want to lock out a joint, especially the knee joint. So now we're going to do the right foot first, big toe ball. Now make a big diagonal to the outer heel. And then the little toe ball and your inner heel. And feel those 4 points pressing down. Good. And now the other foot, left foot, big toe ball, outer heel, little toe ball, inner heel. And then imagine that you're pulling your feet towards one another. Again, there's a slight bend in the knees here. So you're pushing your feet together, and we're going to do that with a little resistance in a moment, in a forward bend. Okay, so if you notice that if I just lock out my knees, how my shins bow here, but if I bend my knees a little bit, I root through the 4 corners of the feet, then my knees are straight ahead, so they're much more stable. So now we're going to take this into a forward bend, and you're going to take your hands to your outer shins, and you're kind of going to wrap them around the sides of the shins towards the back. Take a deep breath in, and then gently push your shins towards each other, but at the same time, you're resisting your thighs apart. So now I want you to look down at your knees. If they're narrower than your ankles, you're going to push more. You're going to push your thighs apart more. If they're wider than, if your knees are wider than your ankles, you're going to push in more. So we're creating resistance, we're creating alignment. We're going to do something like this seated in a moment. Slowly release your hands. Again, there's a slight bend in those knees. Hands to the thighs. Inhale, come on up. We're going to do that again. Take a deep breath in. Notice if you habitually lock out your knees. Something as simple as unlocking the knees when we're standing can create a lot less pressure on the joint. So we're talking about structure today. In my private coaching and in my yoga classes with private students, we work a lot on this kind of thing. But What we also do is we look at lifestyle factors that can be contributing to the joint pain. So very often we'll go to the doctor and it's like all about the structure, all about what's happening, that there is no lifestyle, sleep, stress, what we're eating. So we look at all of that in my programs and in my one-on-one work. So let's do that again. So bend your knees, slide your hands to your outer shins. You're kind of wrapping the outer calves back as you push your shins together and resist your thighs apart. And breathe. Look down at your knees. Are they as wide as your ankles? While we're doing this, press through the big four corners of the feet. Big toe ball, diagonal across to the outer heel. Little toe ball, diagonally across to the inner heel. And you can feel your outer shin muscles firing up. Good. Slowly release and come on down. Now for this next one, we're going to do something very similar. We're going to take the outer hand to the outer shin, just like we did in the last pose. Then we're going to take the other hand to the inner thigh. So I'm going to face this way for a moment. So hand to shin, hand to inner thigh, and we're creating resistance. So without that resistance, if I just push the knee in, then it's knocking in, not good. We want to align it with the ankle. So we're pushing the shin in. With the other hand, we're pressing the thigh out. Now, flex your foot a lot so the toes are pulling towards you. Can you see that? Good. And then we're going to bend and straighten the leg. I'm just going to move the camera a little bit further down so you can see. Flexing the foot, hand on outer shin, hand on inner thigh. I'm creating that resistance like we did in the last pose. Bending the knee and straightening. Creating that resistance, tracking the knee right over the ankle. Good. And you can continue that and repeat on the other leg. You love the demo. Awesome, Betty. Any questions about that? I'm happy to answer that. I want to keep it super sweet and simple. But what this is doing is it's tracking the joint. So often, and I'm going to stand up again, but you probably won't be able to see my head. Sorry. If we're leaning on the outer edge of the foot because we supinate, or we're on the inner edge of the foot because we pronate, and we're walking like that, the knee is not tracking. So this helps to teach and redefine how the knee is tracking. And it strengthens the muscles around. And notice that my foot is very active. My foot's not like that because then the muscles aren't tracking. All right. So just a couple of quick things for you to do. Let me know if you have knee joint pain and if this is helping. And again, if you'd like more of this kind of thing, please let me know. I have a few slots left for a complimentary consultation. I'll also post that link in the comments below. You apply for that and then see if we are a good fit together. But I want you to be able to do your yoga without joint pain. I want you to get back to your life without that pain. So I hope that these videos are super helpful. Again, you can join us for Reset and Renew, which officially starts with the program phase on Monday, but we're in the preparation phase right now. So any questions about that, just shoot me a message, and I will see you next week. Same time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.